Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the She Speaks Wrestling podcast with me, your host, Adriana Anais. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Before we get into anything, I do want to start off by saying first, I am pretty sick right now. I have a really bad cold, so excuse my voice, excuse if I sound congested and all that nonsense. I am kind of losing my voice a little bit, so my bad. I'm trying, I'm pushing. I got my water with me, so we're pretty good. And I also want to say, if you are a subscriber here on my YouTube channel, thank you so much for subscribing because we have officially hit over 200 subscribers here. And that is insane to me. Like, YouTube has always been just a real big passion of mine. It's something I've always wanted to do since a kid. And for me to see people actually tune in to my channel and like the content that I put out, it means a lot to me, especially now that I'm pushing out content that is something that's always been a part of me growing up and my adulthood, and that is wrestling. So for you guys to like that type of thing, or should I say for you guys to like that type of content, means so much to me, and it's always appreciated. I've already stated on my socials that are linked down below. If you haven't already, go follow me. My gratitude, but thank you so much. Now, if you are on Spotify, thank you so much for listening on here. It is also very appreciated. Please make sure to rate the podcast on Spotify. That helps me a lot. It boosts the podcast for other people so they can discover this podcast and we can just talk about wrestling. So, speaking of, there is a lot of wrestling to cover this week. Money in the Bank is this Saturday. This Saturday as well is AAA and WWE's first ever combined show, and that is Worlds Collide. Just a lot to cover. I do also want to talk just a little bit, just a tiny bit, because I'm not too familiar with everything, but I'm getting more and more familiar as the months and months go on with AEW Double or Nothing. I know it's a little old, right? We're getting ready for, I believe it is All In. That is their biggest show that's coming up in Texas. I do just only want to talk about one match that I've seen so far. I mean, I've seen a couple of matches, but one match I'm pretty invested in, and that is the Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm match that's going to happen. So I might mention just a little bit about that with Double or Nothing and Mercedes Moné winning the Owen Cup Foundation. But regardless, lots of wrestling to cover, so I just want to jump right into it. If you aren't already, please make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and turn on your bell notifications so you can get notified whenever I upload. I'm uploading vlogs, I'm uploading these type of videos for my podcast. I'm also just uploading videos of, my lifestyle when I can. Just so much wrestling's happening. So please make sure to subscribe. I promise you I will have content at least once a month or twice. That is my goal for you guys. And follow me on all my other socials, my TikTok. I have a wrestling TikTok down below where you can keep up with just my day-to-day wrestling chats, as well as my Twitter. I live tweet all my thoughts on wrestling there. And if you want to get to know me more on a personal level, I also have my personal TikTok and my Instagram linked down below as well. So let's just get right on into it, y'all. Let's start off with what happened last Friday. I might jump around the show a little bit, but I really want to get to the real important stuff. So last Friday we had our final qualifying match for the Money in the Bank, and thankfully we had Naomi beating Jade Cargill and Nia Jax to qualify. I love Naomi. This new character that she's been doing with the Proceed with Caution and this like kind of multiple personality, just obviously not in the right dimension or reality type of mind, is so interesting. It's honestly her best character work her entire career. And for this last run, I believe this is going to be Naomi's last run. She's already talked about it on podcasts that, she's wanting to start her own family soon, and she's looking to possibly retire soon, which breaks my heart so much. But one of the flip sides is that we are getting the best Naomi ever. And this just proves it. She talked to Bianca. She told Bianca, I believe she broke into her house. I tuned into SmackDown a little late, so thankfully I caught it right when she was about to beat these two other women, Jade and Naya. But I did see on Twitter that she kind of told Bianca that she broke into her house, and she's crazy. So I'm just very excited to see her in the Money in the Bank. I don't want, like, I'm gonna say my predictions, but I want to get all my thoughts out first. So very happy to see that. On the other hand, we also got qualifying for the Money in the Bank from the men's side. We have Andrade. Now, he was not my first pick out of these two men. Honestly, I wanted Carmelo Hayes to win. Now, Andrade went up against Carmelo himself and Jacob Fatu. I really wanted Carmelo to be in this match because I believe that with the way that he's been brought up from NXT, he kind of was brought up with Braun Breaker, Lyra Valkyria, and you kind of see where those two other superstars are, and you see where Carmelo is, and it's very not even. And I've stated on my Twitter multiple times my thoughts on what's going on with Carmelo, and if anything, the lack of what's going on with Carmelo. So I was very shocked to see that he didn't win this match. However, that is not to say I am by any means upset that Andrade qualified. Andrade is an amazing wrestler, and he too returned, I believe, in 2024 at the Royal Rumble, and nothing really has happened with him since. I felt like they were dropping the ball on him, so I'm very happy that he gets his time to shine on this PLE as well. I don't believe he's going to be winning, but it is good to see. I just hope, with all being said, I hope something comes out of Carmelo not being in the match. I hope he gets a solid storyline. He gets a solid run, whether that be with the United States Championship. If you move him over to Raw with the IC title, I don't know. I just need something for Carmelo. I need it bad because it seems like it's kind of, I don't want to say it's on purpose. I don't know. But it's very odd, the selectiveness in which who's shining from that NXT class and who is not. I mean, look at Tiffany Stratton, world champion. Look at Braun Breaker, two-time IC champion. Now he's in a faction with Seth Rollins, first ballot Hall of Famer. Look at Lyra Valkyria. She is the longest reigning, but she's an inaugural IC women's champion, and she was also a double champ because she held the tag team title at WrestleMania with Becky Lynch, and now she's in a feud with Becky Lynch. So it's just like, everyone got their little pick, but look at Carmelo. And I love The Miz, don't get me wrong. Now, if Carmelo were to win the tag titles with The Miz, I wouldn't be upset. But the SmackDown's tag title division is super stacked. So to put them there, it kind of doesn't make sense, right? He needs something. And he needs it fast because, granted, he did win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal before WrestleMania. It made no waves. Like, I was happy for him, but it made no waves, let's be honest. So, don't want to get stuck into that vortex, but I want something more for Carmelo. However, I'm very excited for Andrade. We also were announced on SmackDown with the surprise arrival of Logan Paul and the World Heavyweight Champion, Jey Uso, standing off face to face in the ring with their respective partners, John Cena with Logan Paul and and Cody Rhodes with Jey Uso. It was announced that at Money in the Bank, we were going to get a tag match between these four men. Logan Paul dropped a really good promo for Logan Paul. And it kind of seemed like John and Logan weren't exactly on the same page because it looked like John kind of didn't want to fight both men. He didn't want to fight Jay and Cody. I don't remember because it was last Friday. But if I'm not mistaken, it was something along the lines of like Logan be like, yeah, John, let's just get him now. And John's like, no. And Logan's like, yeah. And John's like, no. So it doesn't seem like they're on the same page. I mean, it would make sense. These two men obviously have very big egos, right? That's their character. So they're going to butt heads a lot, right? They're not looking to be the second second best or second best man. They believe in their heads they are the best. So it would make sense that they're butting heads. But I mean, that's the match we're gonna get for Money in the Bank. If I'm being honest, John Cena's retirement tour hasn't been all we thought it was gonna be. I mean, I know I'm not the only one that's gonna agree to that. I thought we were going to be getting a lot of dream matches, and I mean, sure, there's still months ahead, and there's still, matches we could be having. I mean, we did get John versus Randy for a final time at Backlash. That was really fun. It was a really good match. Even though there was some interference with R-Truth. And speaking of R-Truth, sadly, it was announced that R-Truth, also known as Ron Killings, and Carlito have been released from their contracts. I believe Carlito's, more specifically, he said that they will no longer be renewing his contract after his contract expires. And so he hasn't been on TV now. And obviously, this comes as a shock for many fans, especially with R-Truth and Carlito, because these two men have been prominent on TV. Carlito may not have been in as many matches as R-Truth has in recent memory, but he's always involved with the Judgment Day. I mean, shit, he's been taking spears from Braun Breaker for the past couple of months. R-Truth just had a match with John Cena at Saturday Night's Main Event and on Monday Night Raw with Rusev. It's really sad to see the way this has been playing out. I mean, we obviously got those releases a couple of months back with Dakota Kai, Braun Strowman being some of the bigger names, Shayna Baszler, but we also got a lot of NXT people. We got Cora Jade, we got Gigi Dolan, we had Jakara Jackson, so many people, and it's always sad to see people lose their job, and regardless of money, regardless of status or fame, a lot of people, this was their dream job, this was their dream place to be, and it's always unfortunate to see that it didn't work out the way that they probably would have hoped or expected. And all I can say, my advice to give is just, if you are a fan of these people, just follow them on their social media, keep up with them, and see what they're doing, because just because they're not in this major company does not mean that their career is over and so it has ended. I mean, they're doing whatever it is that will make them happy, whether that be in another promotion or whether that be doing another side or passion project that they've really wanted to always do, if not always have done, but this has taken the forefront, And again, really unfortunate the way the situation played out, but we can just wish them the best. Now, moving on from that very somber note, let's just talk about my predictions for this tag match with Cody and Jay versus Logan and John Cena. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the only way John Cena and Logan Paul win is via celebrity interference / low blow. I mean, that's the way both of these men usually win their matches, especially John as of recently. Going back to what I was saying, this is not really the retirement tour we expected from John Cena. I mean, I think John Cena versus CM Punk was right there in front of us, and we kind of dropped the ball on it. And here I thought the only reason why we weren't getting that is because CM Punk was going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And spoiler alert, he's not. So very confused on what's going on here. Not really happy with the fact that we're getting a tag match as one of John Cena's last matches. But I mean, it is what it is. That's what we got, right? So again, wouldn't be surprised if the only way John and Logan win is via a cheaty win or interference, or Gunther interfering and costing Jay. I don't know, but I could see them just having Jay and Cody win. This is Cody's first match being back after his very long hiatus from, losing to John at WrestleMania. Yes, he made his return at Saturday Night's Main Event, but again, this is his first official match, so I don't know if they're going to have him lose. But it's definitely not out of the scope of possibility to have him lose, because as we all know, Cody does go through some very hard times. I mean, listen, we got practically almost 2 years in the making for him to be champion, right? And then he loses a year later to John Cena at WrestleMania because of Travis Scott. So Cody is not unfamiliar with hard times. I just hope they have him get the feel good win here. Selfishly, that is what I want. So I have Cody and Jay taking the W. Moving on, we have Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Women's Championship. Lyra is the women's champion. We just got a really good promo by Lyra, or promo battle between Lyra and Becky. I mean, listen, Lyra has been dominating this title run from her. This is obviously her first main title run with the IC Championship, and she has made it very prestigious, in my opinion. And that is not just because, I know everyone's like, oh, well, it's because she's going up against Becky Lynch. Yes and no. Like, obviously Becky's name brings a lot of prestige because she is one of the top women in the company, but Lyra has been defending her title multiple times on Monday Night Raw, on, whatever PLE they give her, whatever show they give her. Like, she has been defending her title a bunch between Dakota Kai, Ivy Nile, I forget who else. I literally forgot, but those are just to name a few. Dakota Kai and Ivy Nile. Just, I think a defending champion always brings more prestige. So shout out to Lyra. And, she has been improving so much on the mic. She knows how to work a crowd. She knows how to get the crowd behind her. So really great stuff from her. And she's obviously great in ring. So very excited for this match. I would hope Lyra retains again, but the only way I see that, because she has beaten Becky twice already, right? It's kind of crazy if she beats her 3 times. However, I think the way to have her beat Becky 3 times and not make Becky look like absolute crap is if we have a surprise return, and that is from Bayley. Guys, we haven't seen Bayley since right before Mania. She was supposed to be Lyra's tag team partner going into WrestleMania, and it was announced the Monday after WrestleMania by Becky Lynch that she was the one who took out Bayley to begin with to insert herself in the match. So I think this is where Bayley makes her triumphant return. I miss Bayley. I miss seeing her on my screen. It's kind of crazy the fact that they kind of just wrote her off the way they did, because she's not even legitimately injured. So I think this is a perfect way to get Bayley back into it, and also get Becky away from Lyra and their rivalry, and clean that all up, because Bayley and Becky obviously now have this rivalry, right? So Bayley comes in, costs Becky the win, makes Lyra win. Lyra still looks like a dominant champion. Becky does not get the IC championship because she does not need it right now. And yeah, that's how I see that going. So my vote is Lyra winning. Moving on to the men's Money in the Bank. We only get 4 matches this entire PLE, which is fine because we're getting a whole nother PLE earlier in the day. So we do not need 5, 6, 7 matches. Okay. We do not need that. I don't need that. It's too much. We are going to get, for the men's Money in the Bank Championship ladder match, our Money in the Bank ladder match, we have Seth Rollins, Penta, LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, Andrade, and unfortunately, newly announced on Monday Night Raw, El Grande Americano. Now, lots of thoughts, lots of opinions. El Grande Americano beat CM Punk and AJ Styles to qualify. Now, granted, CM Punk was distracted because Seth Rollins came out and interfered in the match. And then AJ Styles was too busy with everything else going on, and he got a really big headbutt from the El Grande Americano, costing him the W. But I think it's kind of crazy that this character's still going on. Like, I don't know. That's just me. At first, it was kind of funny. Like, not really, but yeah. Like, it was like, oh, well, obviously that's Chad Gable. That was the funny part. And then they started leaning into this whole, like, Gulf of America thing and, getting very, very political without being political. And then, he beat Rey Fenix at WrestleMania. And you're like, okay, obviously this has to be the end of it, right? No, he's still around. And now here we go. Here we have it. He has beaten CM Punk and AJ Styles to qualify. Now, guys, I don't know. I really hope the only way this makes sense to me is if Penta in the match removes the mask from El Grande Americano and it's revealed to obviously be Chad Gable and it's over. It's done. I don't want this to continue. I don't know what's their goal here. I don't know where they want this to go. I don't know how far they're willing to take this, but I think in terms of the audience, I think we can all kind of agree we're over it. It was funny for like 2 seconds until it really wasn't. So kind of over it. Want this to be done with for sure. Now, who's my pick to win the men's Money in the Bank? This is a really stacked Money in the Bank, excluding a couple. I know a lot of people have LA Knight winning. I wouldn't really be surprised if LA Knight won, considering like he's had such a huge trajectory in the company and he's been on such a high for so long at this point. And it's not easy to keep that momentum, to keep that that stardom, to keep the crowd behind you for as long as he has, especially like leading up to his United States Championship win. Like before that, he was just a guy that was like going around talking his shit, having the crowd behind him, but he on paper did not have anything for himself. And then he became a 2-time United States champion, and it's like, okay, that's great. Now what? Obviously he lost that fatal 4-way at Backlash. You're not going for that mid-card title again, are you? The next stop has to be a world title. And if it is, how are you going to get there? Because he has no real line to John Cena or to Jey Uso. So now we have the Money in the Bank, and that's the best way possible. So I would not be surprised for him winning. I just wouldn't really love the idea. Now listen, again, I respect LA Knight. It is not easy to get that momentum and to keep it and to have the crowd behind you for as long as he has. But I am all about having the Money in the Bank be for someone super unpredictable. And I think LA Knight is just way too predictable. Like the past couple of Money in the Banks were pretty unpredictable, at least for me. Drew McIntyre, I did not expect Drew McIntyre to win because he's Drew McIntyre, right? I don't think he really needs the Money in the Bank briefcase, but he got it anyway. And then before that, I know everyone was mad in the beginning, but it was Damian Priest, a guy that nobody believed that was ever going to be a world champion, and there he was. So I like the unpredictability of the briefcase. I like someone that not everyone is going to believe to have it, right? And because of that, my winner, my personal pick to win is Cero Miedo Penta. Guys, come on. Walk me through this. Okay, let me walk you through. When Penta came to WWE was he there on the first day of Raw's Netflix? I don't remember, but he was there on one of the first couple of days, if anything. When he showed up, the reaction from the crowd, I don't believe WWE expected that. And then not only that, did the crowd continue to stand behind him? Yes. And I don't think WWE expected that either. Here they've got two Lucha Bros, right? The Lucha Bros, Rey Fenix and Penta. And sure, Rey Fenix came a little later because of contractual obligations and whatever. However, when they presented Penta, I believe they presented this guy as, let's have him out there. Let's put his face out there. Let's get the crowd familiar with him. So when his brother comes, it's a really big deal. And then we have this solid tag team for the Raw division. That's what I believe is what the on-plan paper was. But in WWE, as we know, things change. Everything turns on its head. And they saw the reaction from the crowd to Penta and how behind him the crowd was. I mean, listen, if it wasn't going to be Dominic Mysterio at WrestleMania, it was going to be Penta. Point blank period, it was going to be Penta. Because I'm sorry, I love Finn Balor and I love Braun Breaker. It wasn't going to be either one of them. Penta has become a star so big that I don't think WWE ever expected. And if they are smart, in my opinion, they take this star while it's still burning, while it's still hot, and and make an even bigger star out of him. Let's put him with the briefcase. Let's have Cero Miedo on the briefcase. You know how fucking cool that would be? And it's not like he can't be in the world title picture. He's amazing. Like, in my opinion, he's one of the best wrestlers in this lineup. Like, Andrade, Penta, Seth Rollins, those are my top three in this match. And even El Grande, because it's Chad Gable. We all know it's Chad Gable. Chad Gable's there too. Stop playing. I would love to see Penta win. I think the crowd would go ballistic if he unhooked that briefcase. I want to see a total singles run from Penta like we're getting. I think this is the way to do it. I think it would be really fucking cool. But that's my personal pick to win. I still think, though, it's not... Like, I'm very, like, if I'm giving y'all my percentages right now, I'm, like, 60% sure that Penta's gonna win. But that 40%... Actually, it's a little less. I'm, like, 40% Penta, 60% LA Knight. But I really want Penta, so I'm gonna say Penta. But I'm not surprised if it's LA Knight. All right. Moving on, we have the Women's Money in the Bank match. I think this has to be the main event. Like, I don't think it's gonna be, just because you have the stars of Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Logan Paul, and John Cena. That's obviously gonna be the main event. If I'm gonna predict the order of this matchup, I think the Women's Money in the Bank is gonna go first. Then Lyra versus Becky. Then the men's. And then Cody. And then the tag match. Even though this match, the women's match, needs to go last. The women's ladder match needs to go last. This match is so stacked and star-studded. First of all, we have the new and up-and-comers of Julia, Roxanne Perez, and recently qualified this Monday, Stephanie Valquer, pulling double duty because she's also going to be on Worlds Collide earlier in the day. And then we also have Alexa Bliss, Naomi, and Rhea Ripley. Guys, talk about stars. Talk about women's wrestling, brother. Like, this is so crazy. This might be one of the best women's Money in the Bank lineup ever. Ever. Everyone in this match can hold their own. I do not care what y'all say. Everyone in this match can hold their own. Everyone in this match is either already Hall of Famers, like, soon, or they're working their way there. Like, this is insane. Now, a lot of things going on here. I mean, listen, we have Julia, we have Stephanie, we have Roxanne. All these three women recently came up from NXT. Stephanie being the last person to come up. She just made her Raw debut this Monday. And like I said, she qualified this Monday, going up against Ivy Nell and Liv Morgan. Really great match, by the way. These three women have really great chemistry. They're all very awesome in the ring. I personally at first thought Liv Morgan was going to be in it, just because why would Liv Morgan not be in the Money in the Bank? But also, I didn't know if they were going to have Stephanie pull double duty again. Now, I say again because she has done it before. So it wasn't like super unrealistic to have her in the match and pull that double duty. She did it before with the NXT North American and NXT Women's Championship, defending both on the same day and retaining both. Yeah. Did she retain both? I'm pretty sure she did, right? Whatever. Really awesome. Like, it's awesome to see her pull double duty. Like, WWE has so much trust in her. It's insane. Like, and rightfully so. She is probably one of the best women on the roster. She's up there with Io Sky. She's up there with Rhea Ripley. She's up there with Bianca Belair. She's up there, y'all. Like, it's with Charlotte Flair. She is up there. I am so happy that she's in this match. La Primera in the Bank has such a beautiful ring to it. And okay, guys, like, it's so hard to pick for winners, right? Like, it's so hard to predict because, like I said, there's just stars everywhere here. You can make an argument for every single one of these women to be Money in the Bank winners. Like Roxanne, like if you want to give it to the girls that are coming up and that can like really shock the world and or make even bigger stars, you give it to Roxanne, you give it to Julia, you give it to Stephanie. You want to give it to the person with the best character work, in my opinion, and that can really do something so intricate and like psychological with it. You give it to Naomi. You want to give it to the girl that the crowd, you want to give it to the girls that the crowd obviously loves, Alexa and Rhea. Like, it's insane. But personally, me, my pick to win is Naomi. I think Naomi can drive this home. I think we are very much due for a Naomi Money in the Bank briefcase hold, like for her to hold the briefcase. We are overdue from that. And I think Naomi can do something amazing with this. I'm not even going to lie, y'all. I think the IWC agrees with me. That's all I really see on Twitter. Everyone's saying Naomi is their pick to win, and I hope she does win. I have like about 50% on Naomi, but, and this is a big but, I would not be opposed and or upset if Roxanne Perez wins, guys. Like, she's now wrapped up in this whole Judgment Day thing. She's not officially a member, but she kind of is. And then hearing what Finn said this Monday, where he was like, well, Liv, if Roxanne wins and then she goes on to, like, cash in on EO, at least the Judgment Day will have a women's chip. Guys, it's too good. The stories are writing themselves at this point. I mean, not really, but yeah. Those are my two picks to win. Roxanne and Naomi. I would not be upset for either one. I'm leaning towards more Naomi because that's my girl. I think she really deserves this. It's her final run. Let her come out with a bang. But Roxanne is the new and up and coming star here. So is Julia, but I think Julia still needs to work a little bit more on herself, get the crowd a little bit more behind her. Of course, Stephanie is already a star, and I think she really doesn't need this briefcase right now. It's so crazy to say because this was her first match on Raw or her first official match as a Raw superstar this Monday. She hasn't even been in the company for more than 8 months. And dare I say, she is bigger than this briefcase right now, guys. It's insane. It's really crazy. I don't think she needs it. I want Roxanne or Naomi. Give me either one of those women and I'll be happy. So yeah, that's my picks. Those are my predictions for Money in the Bank. Now, real quick, let's go on to AAA. I'm not familiar. I want to start off by saying I'm not familiar with any of these wrestlers from AAA. But I am very excited to see that Javon Evans is going to be involved in the match card. We have Javon Evans, Ray Phoenix, and Laredo Kid going up against the NXT North American the NXT North American champion, Ethan Page. Selfishly, I would love to see Javon Evans get this W. I mean, I think we can do a whole storyline. Like, Javon and Ethan already kind of have some history with one another. I actually saw them wrestle live at the theater at Madison Square Garden for Roadblock. Go check out that vlog if you haven't already. So I think they already have some history. I think Javon Evans is the future of this business. He's only, 20 years old? It's insane for me to say that I'm older than this man. That's crazy. But he is so talented, and I think putting him with the NXT North American title will do wonders for him. So I say, why the hell not? Give it to him. I say not Ray Phoenix just because he's a SmackDown guy, and it's not unusual to have a main roster talent hold an NXT championship. I mean, shit, we had Dominic Mysterio do it, especially with the NXT North American title twice, actually. So it's not unusual, but I think Javon Evans really would need this a little bit more. Laredo Kid, I mean, if they want to pull out a crazy, what's the word? A crazy surprise, why the hell not have this AAA guy hold it? I think that would be cool too. I mean, we've seen him I believe we've seen him a couple of times. I don't even know, y'all. Like, I'm so unfamiliar with a lot of these people, so please bear with me. But moving on, we have Chad Gable going up against El Hijo de Vikingo for the AAA Mega Championship. I believe at first this wasn't for the AAA Mega Championship, but I believe the guy El Hijo de Vikingo, he just beat Alberto Del Rio for the title. So that's really cool. I think Chad Gable, I mean, El Hijo just won it, right? Like Vikingo just won it. So I don't think they're going to have him lose so quickly. However, I would love to see Chad Gable win a championship. I mean, he hasn't won one in WWE. So even though this isn't a WWE title, it would be really cool to see him win here. But I think Vikingo is going to retain. I believe he's going in obviously as a face. We've seen him a lot as well on Raw at ringside, costing Chad Gable a couple of times. So that'll be a really cool match to watch. Like I said, Stephanie Valkyrie is pulling double duty, and she's going to be wrestling here as well as Money in the Bank. So she's going to be teaming up with Lola Vice to battle AAA's Dalis and Chick Tormenta. I believe that's how you pronounce them. We saw Dalis and Chick Tormenta backstage and ringside, I believe, at what was the most recent Battleground? We saw them at Battleground. So yeah, I mean, I don't know who's going to get the victory here. I mean, if Stephanie's going to be losing the Money in the Bank ladder match, I say have her win this match. But then again, I don't know. Guys, I don't know. I'm not really giving my predictions too much. I'm just kind of giving some of my opinions because, like I said, I'm not very familiar. But lastly, next up, we have Legado del Fantasma. The Fantasma will be going up against El Hijo de Wagner Jr., Pagno, and Psycho Clown. Gonna say it again, not familiar with any of these three guys, but very excited to see this match. If it's anything like I know, this is gonna be a pretty fast-paced match, very fun, very fresh. And then recently, this was just announced, the LWO take on Octagon Jr., Aros Star, and Mr. Iguana in a 6-man tag match. Another really fast-paced, or what I can assume is going to be a really fast-paced lucha match. This is going to be great. I mean, I love LWO. Dragon Lee showed up and showed out in his qualifying match when he was going with Penta and... who was the third person? It was him, Penta, and... was it Chad Gable? I believe it was Chad Gable. Yeah, I believe so. Listen, Dragon Lee showed up and showed out regardless, and he proved that he didn't belong in catering. So I'm glad that they're having him here on this show and the LWO. Really fun. All of these men are amazing wrestlers, and they're very fast paced. So this is going to be a really, really fun wrestling show. So yeah, I'm very excited for Worlds Collide as I am excited for Money in the Bank. I'm excited to see just really great wrestling this weekend. And lastly, I just want to touch on really quick with the Owen Hart Cup Foundation tournament with Mercedes Moné versus Jamie Hayter at Double or Nothing. Really, really amazing match. Both of these women are so talented. Every time I tune it into AEW, I am always not just taken back, but I am always like, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but I love seeing wrestling. Like, if you are one of those people, right? And I know a lot of these people in real life that love to tell me, when I tell them, oh, I love WWE, I love wrestling, they're like, yeah, but it's fake. I'm like, it's scripted. It's obviously a scripted thing. These people don't really hate each other. I mean, sometimes they actually do, and that makes it even better to watch. But most of the time, no, they don't really hate each other. But I wouldn't say it's fake because I can't do what they do. I'm not about to sit here and do a crossbody off of the top rope and land onto someone flat on their tummy. That's not what I'm doing. I know I'm going to get hurt doing that, so I love to just show them, because listen, WWE is always known for being, just a safer way of working, right? They don't really go as hard a lot of the times. And I understand because they don't want people to get hurt all the time. And there's still injuries regardless, no matter how safe they're being. But I love showing them wrestling outside of WWE, whether that be AEW, AAA, New Japan, Ring of Honor, TNA, whatever the case is, even the indies, and showing them, oh yeah, no, like this is real shit right here. This is some real shit. So every time I tune into AEW, I'm always reminded of how amazing pro wrestling is in terms of the sport that is pro wrestling. Because when I tune into WWE, I'm always reminded of how amazing pro wrestling is when it comes to sports entertainment, when it comes to storytelling. But with AEW, and I'm not saying AEW does not do storytelling. They do. I saw Swerve and Hangman Adam Page. I saw that. They do storytelling well. But they pride themselves on being pro wrestling. So when I tune in and I see really great pro wrestling, it's always refreshing. It's always exciting to see. And these two women just once again showed me, especially Mercedes Moné, because I've been a fan of her since she was in WWE. She was my favorite WWE superstar when the whole Divas Revolution was happening. Her and AJ Lee. It's just amazing to see how much she has blossomed, where she is appreciated. And I know a lot of people don't love the fact that she's going after every title. I do. Go after every fucking thing because she is the best. She deserves that. She earned that. Okay, so love to see it. Love that she's the new Owen Hart Foundation Cup winner. And I am so excited to tune into All In to see her and Timeless Toni Storm, the other best women's wrestler going like in the world right now. I am so excited to see them face off, y'all. It's going to be one of the, if not the contender for one of the, it's going to be like match of the year. Like I can already say on paper, that match is going to be a contender for match of the year for sure. And I wouldn't be surprised if it wins. Not one bit, because that shit, if I know anything about those two women, they are about to go fucking dumb. So very excited for that. We'll definitely be tuning in for that. And recently, as we've seen, if you haven't already, keep up on Twitter. The blogs and what the interwebs have been saying is that Mariah May is a free agent and WWE has their sights on her. So if I see Mariah May on NXT, y'all, I would be so fucking hype. So yeah, very excited to see hopefully Mariah May on my TV screen on an NXT or WWE programming. And like I said, I'm excited for Money in the Bank. I'm excited for Worlds Collide. I'm excited for All In. I'm just excited for pro wrestling, people. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to this podcast episode, the She Speaks Wrestling podcast with me, your host, Adriana Nais. I really appreciate it. Like I said, if you are on Spotify, please make sure to rate my podcast so that way it can be boosted into the podcast interwebs and other people can discover it. If you are here on YouTube, thank you so much for subscribing if you have already. And if you haven't, please make sure to hit that bell notification so you can get notified whenever I upload a vlog or podcast episode. It would be very appreciated. And make sure to check out the description box below. I have all my links for my She Speaks Wrestling TikTok, my personal TikTok, my Twitter, and my Instagram. Thank you guys so much. Love y'all. See y'all in the next one.